Hey y'all. I just pretty much wanted to talk about um just what I pretty much thought of during this Mercury retrograde, and I reflected a little bit on my relationships and whatnot, and um I feel like I'm grateful for this, experience with narcissism, right? Because now I just know how to deal with other narcissists, not just only the ones that exist in my home, but the ones that are, in my job, probably in my job, in my probably meeting new people outside, dating, whatever, right? And I'll put you on a secret. I'll put you on this, but what I found to be common amongst most of them that I've experienced is the fact that they are predictable as fuck, right? They are predictable. And once you get a hold of at least two or three of their tricks right, there's nothing else that you have to worry about. In my experience, I'm not sure, but what has also helped me is using spiritual oils for protection, right? Because I thought of the physical, but I also learned that it was also a spiritual thing as well, dealing with, narcissists and, other, people, because, I use that religiously, right? Whether it's psalms, oils, uh, cleansings, right? And I take advantage of the silence and the solitude, right? Because I noticed that not only my parents, right, but the people that I dated and stuff like that would go out their way to just ignore me, to just ignore me. And while I was young, while I was younger and didn't know any better, I would just, nearly die, cry and die, because of this, because they got, because they went out their way to like purposely like isolate me, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't act the way that they wanted me to act, or I just wasn't, I wasn't doing what they wanted me to do, right? And it's to a point where it was to a point where, yeah, I would be so hurt and so floored where it would just consume my whole world until they probably, talk to me again or whatever. And it's so sad, but you know what I'm saying, I also gotten used to it, you know. I became really numb to it. But I also, you know, had a new perspective when it comes to, people doing that whack shit, right? And it's like, well, if you guys are going to do this, well, that just gives me, a lot more time and a lot more room to do what it is that I want to do without any of your interference. But you don't tell them that, you know. And so, this has helped me become, productive, just keeping my mind busy because, nothing else matters. but freedom in all aspects of life. And I feel like it's really helped me in terms of where it's like, you know what I'm saying, I got you guys' number because the thing is, you guys operate the same when you guys do not get your way. When you people don't get your way, you guys operate the same with that, you know, oh, well, I'm just not going to talk to you. And I'm going to have this person not talk to you either, right? It's so lame, but you know what I'm saying, you gotta think to yourself, like, you know what I'm saying, it's alright because you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna get shit done. And by the time that you find my silence to be strange, everything's already been done. You know what I'm saying? I'm already out. You know what I'm saying? I'm already on to the next thing, right? And I feel like that's how things should be. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I'm saying, I used to really, like, you know, really feel ashamed about the way that I used to, you know, how the way I used to respond to that, you know, that negligence, where it's like, but it's like, no, you didn't know any better, but you found a way, you know what I'm saying, you found a way to just, you know, get around it. Because what else can you really do? You can't make a person, you know, do anything, right? But the thing is, that's what they want you to do. They want you to, you know, beg them and stuff, you know. But back then, maybe like, you know what I'm saying, the 18-year-old me or the 4-year-old me or whatever would have did anything to get them to talk to me. But anybody that does that because you're not doing what they want you to do, they're not for you anyway. They don't really care about you anyway. And I feel like this type of manipulation is happening globally because you know what I'm saying, we are punished in a sense where we are punished if we don't go by a certain rule. You know what I'm saying? If we don't go by a certain standard or whatever, right? But at the same time, the gag is, you know what I'm saying, you would just never be enough. You know what I'm saying? The thing is, they don't want to tell you that, you know what I'm saying, that you will never win that. You know what I'm saying? You will never, you know what I'm saying? How do I explain it, bro? But the thing is, you will never be, you know, good, you know, in their eyes. You know what I'm saying? Good enough in their eyes. They won't tell you that because they want you to keep, you know, running around like a chicken with its head cut off, right? You're punished for, you know, not showing up the way that they want you to, but at the same time, you still wouldn't be good enough. So either way, you're not going to win, so you might as well, you know, win your own way. Yeah, so, well, I gotta let in my cat. I'm sorry, y'all. Sorry. My cat was knocking. But yeah, that's what I did, you know. But you know what I'm saying, just understanding that, you know what I'm saying, this is not happening inside of our homes. This is happening with other people. This is happening, you know what I'm saying. We're all under narcissistic abuse if you think about it, you know what I'm saying, because we're being told that we have to be this and that, and then we will would, and then our humanity would be seen. You know what I'm saying? And then they would be nice to us, and then they will love us. But it's not true. Because they would never love you. They would never see your humanity or whatever, because, you know what I'm saying? Because they just don't want to see it, right? And, yeah, I feel like, you know what I'm saying? It's really, those are one of my triggers, bro, because it's like, to just go out your way to, like, ignore me, to go out your way to avoid me, right? And also, I want to talk about this because, you know what I'm saying, even in my relationships, right? Or people that said that they were interested in me, right? They will say all these things that clearly shows interest, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying, don't want to call, don't want to, don't want to text or whatever, right? Let me just spill the beans, okay? It was one of my exes, right? He was saying all that, and then when he tried to, make advances toward me, I said, no, it's not a good idea. He was saying, he even said that it wasn't a good idea, right? Because, he had a lot of things going on. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And, what else happened? So, he was saying all that, you know what I'm saying, but wouldn't make a call or whatnot. And until then, when I said no, and he was like, well, that's why I've been trying to avoid you, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, if you don't want anything to do with me, you can just say that. But the truth is that you don't really want me to leave you alone. Because if you really wanted me to go away, if you really didn't want to talk to me, you would just say that. But, the sick thing that they do is, so say if I slipped up and did it with them, right? Then it would be all on me, to where it's like, well, no one told you, and I told you that, that I had a lot of things going on and all this stuff, right? And sometimes I lose track of thought. I'm sorry. Give me a second. Okay. So the thing is, I was touching up on the manipulation things that people do, right? In a sense where, you know what I'm saying, it's about what they're not saying. And it's like, well, if you really didn't want anything to do with me, you would say that. But you don't, you know what I'm saying, because if I do, you know what I'm saying, fall for it, right, you're gonna blame me for it. Either way, you're gonna blame me for it, right? And you really also don't want me to go away because you see something that you can use, that you can get from me, right? And that's really fucked up. I'd say I dodged the bullet with that one, you know. But these things that, people do just to look like that they're not smitten by you, you know what I'm saying? Or they don't, or, you know what I'm saying, things people do to not make it seem like they like you. It's so weird. You know what I'm saying? You can see clearly. Clearly they want to give you the whole world, right? But they do things like this, and it's like, it doesn't even have to be that way. I feel like people that do that, they're scared of being made fun of. And we could always, chalk it down to them just being like a sociopath, right? but it's so many things beneath the surface. Like, you're scared. You're scared. You're scared. Um, I also hope to get enough, subscribers so that I can do live with you guys. To do get readies with me. You know, saying to um, invite you into my love core aesthetic life. Because I feel like there's more that I want to show you guys. But anyway, like, yeah, the way that people would go out their way to isolate you, thinking it's gonna do something, and maybe it did back then when you didn't know any better. But baby, let me tell you, it's completely something totally different, and there's a lot more that you can get done, right? Especially like during this time, like it's so easy. We just have to reframe your thoughts and your perspective about the whole thing. Because these people that are making it seem like you gotta do this to get into this non-existent exclusive club aren't that great anyways, right? Remember that.